Hi, I'm Sage. Welcome back to the Addictive Wellness Channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, the three treasure system of Chinese and Taoist Tonic Herbalism. This system is a way that the Chinese have of looking at health. It's really profound and also very easy to understand, and it just makes so much sense. So the way we start to understand this is that we have three treasures. Our life is formed of these three treasures. They're called Jing, Qi, and Shen. Now the Jing, we're going to start there. It's the first treasure. And if we think of the three treasures as relating to a candle, the Jing is going to be the wax and the wick of the candle. It's the form, it's the shape, it's what it's actually made up out of. In our modern life, we would think of the Jing as our kidney adrenal energy. That's where it's stored. It's stored in the kidneys and the adrenals. And this is like our reserve energy. It's like our savings account of energy. It's not what we run on day to day. In the ideal situation, maybe you are living off your savings account of energy, and we'll get to that in a second. But this Jing is our reserve. It's something that you inherit from your parents. You know, that's why some people come into life, and even though they're doing everything to live healthy and they're trying so hard, they kind of always are kind of weak and feeble and struggling with different sicknesses and things, even though they're doing everything they should be. But they started off with very weak Jing. They started off with not a lot of core energy in their reserves. On the other hand, I'm sure you also know of some people who do everything wrong. They live a lifestyle full of excess, yet they still seem to actually be pretty robust and healthy. And these are people who had the good fortune to inherit a lot of Jing from their parents. They started off with big energy reserves, so even though they're living a lifestyle that's kind of abusive of their body, they can handle it, at least, for now. Eventually that savings might run out, but for now they're doing okay. So once you've inherited a certain amount of Jing from your parents, then it's up to you what you do with your Jing throughout your life. Now, as you're going through life, you're constantly going to be using up a little bit of Jing, and at the end, you eventually run out, and that's when you die, and that's a beautiful part of the circle of life. But, of course, we don't want that to be too soon. So we want to figure out how we're using up our Jing too fast. And it's basically any kind of excess living. Whether you're eating a poor diet, you're taking lots of drugs, either pharmaceutical drugs or recreational drugs, or you're drinking too much, or just any kind of excess living. If you're not sleeping well or sleeping enough, if you're just partying all the time, if you're, as a man, this is just specifically for men, too much loss of sexual fluids, that will deplete your Jing. That's that core reserve energy that if we run out of it, it's hard to replenish, and you're eliminating this like deep life force that could power you through to have an amazing life if you are respectful of it and use it wisely. Now, if this Jing gets depleted, there are some ways you can help build it back. There are certain yoga practices, and there's also Jing herbs. So some of these herbs, for example, are things like Hoshu Wu and cordyceps. These are some of the great Chinese Jing herbs they've been used for thousands of years for rebuilding that core kidney adrenal, deep, powerful energy. And so that's the Jing. So you got an idea of where that is. That's the wax and the wick of our candle. It's the base of everything else. The next part is the Qi. That's something a lot more people have heard of. That is actually the flame of the candle, because this is the active component. It's your moment-to-moment energy, vitality, cognitive function, immune system function. It's essentially the energy that your body is able to extract from the air you breathe and the food you eat. So this is something that if you've got great Qi, you're not going to have to tap in to your Jing, into your reserves, because your Qi is like your checking account. If you've got a great flow of energy and great flow of funds into your checking account, you're not going to have to dip into your savings. So of course, there are different physical movement practices that can help to build Qi, and there's also herbs. So some great Qi herbs are, for example, astragalus and cordyceps, we're going to mention again. Some herbs actually work on more than one treasure. So you have cordyceps is one that works on Jing and Qi. And we're going to get into another one in a minute, reishi, that's even a 3-treasure herb that's going to work on all 3 treasures. So while we're here on the Qi, that's the active part. So this is something that you definitely want to take care of. It's equally important to Jing, but keep in mind, if you have a small candle, if you're just a little birthday candle, if you don't have a lot of Jing, you're not going to possibly have a big flame, right? So you want to make sure to start by building the Jing, and then you can look at working on the Qi. Now, time for what they call the ultimate treasure, the Shen. This is not the wax and wick of the candle, it's not the flame, because keep in mind, the ultimate purpose of a candle is not just to be big, and it's not just to have a big flame, but it's to give off a great big light, right? And this ultimate higher treasure is the Shen. This is your higher self. It's the light in your eyes, it's your spirit, it's your ultimate top potential of who you can become as an individual and your purest self. Now, as I said, you're not going to be able to give off a lot of light if you're just a little birthday candle. So we build these three treasures in order. Now, some of the great Shen herbs that can really help get you into a wonderful spiritual state and really feel peaceful and not be easily affected by stressful circumstances around you are things like reishi. And reishi, as I mentioned a minute ago, is a three treasure herb. It's working on Jing, Qi, and Shen. And reishi is so amazing at getting you out of your head and into your heart, just quieting the mind. And actually, the traditional saying about reishi, I love this one, is that it helps guide you around the obstacles standing in the way of you and enlightenment. So it's giving you kind of enlightenment GPS. And that might sound totally crazy that an herb can do that, but you won't know until you've tried it. And when you've had a good quality, really strong Shen reishi, there is nothing like it. I remember my first time, and it just immediately, like, my mind went blank, and I just felt this like blossoming in my chest and just felt totally at peace. And that is something that I'll never forget as long as I live, and it's what keeps me going back to reishi as a tonic to have all the time, and especially in times when I'm experiencing lots of stress all around. So that helps me to keep my Shen, my spirit, balanced. If you're going through a lot of stress and you're not very adaptable to it, it's easy for your spirit to get shaken and thrown off balance, and that's obviously not something that we want. So those are the three treasures. So remember, the Jing, that's your core kidney adrenal reserves. That's your savings account. Then you have your checking account, which is your Qi. That's the moment-to-moment active vitality, cognitive energy, and how your immune system is working. And then the ultimate purpose, the highest treasure, is your Shen. That's your higher self, your spiritual self. So these are things that we can think about as we go through life and are doing different things that may affect our health in different ways. We can think, how is this going to affect my three treasures? Is this, maybe, am I having coffee every day because I'm so tired and my adrenals are getting depleted, but I'm trying to ignore that just by stimulating myself and just juicing out more out of my savings account? Or am I taking tonic herbs every day to help replenish my savings account and my adrenals and really lead a sustainable, really healthy lifestyle? So keep these kind of things in mind and let us know your thoughts and how you can see things going on in your life through the lens of the three treasure system of Chinese tonic herbalism. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. I wish you all the best. I hope we see you again here soon.